Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Craw Park. Let's jump right on in. So today, I'm actually going to do my video in reverse. Something very interesting happened today with, I thought we talked about yesterday, GNUS. And so I want to talk about that trade today, or really that occurrence in the market. And then I want to get into my trades later on. So yesterday we talked about GNUS. We talked about how this stock has been on a crazy tear for the past few weeks and how the stock price has just jumped significantly. But today I want to show you what happens when you have the inverse of the scarcity principle, and also what happens when the market moves in a crazy way, and why it's so essential, why it is so very essential that you cannot trade against the market. All right, so let's get into GNUS today. So what I have on my screen here is finviz.com, another free resource. You can use it for a stock screener. You can use it for Forex, a few other things. I'm going to use it today for news. So I'm going to type in GNUS. So let's look at what happened in the news with this stock today. So here we have, Genius brand stock rockets more than 2,400% in a month, blah, 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 right? So this was published today at 7:18, so 2 hours before the market opened. And it's just basically saying, it's basically giving a recap of, what's been going on with the stock, right? So the good thing about the stock market is you don't have to read the entire article. The headline is sufficient, right? So company's going crazy. Okay, cool, check, right? 2 seconds. I love that about the market, is that you don't have to spend a lot of time doing research on stuff. The headline gives you what you need. You move on, 2 seconds, boom. Let's continue. All right, 10:38 a.m. And I'll zoom in so you can see this as well. So Genius brand stock dives into negative territory after registering for stock sales. So this is the one thing that I like about the market. It's heavily regulated. And of course, it's regulated by the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission. So this commission is the reason why MarketWatch and other news outlets can post this news, right? So as you can see from the headline, they're going to be registering stock sales, right? They're going to be selling shares of their stock. So let's just kind of read into it a little bit. So blah, 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 took a dive into negative territory, snapping a 4-day win streak after the media company, here we go, registered the sale of up to 60 million shares. 60 million shares are going to sell. That is a crazy amount to sell, especially at one time. Now, they can't just sell 60 in one day, but trust me, if they could, they would. So, and the reason I say that this is how MarketWatch and other news outlets knows this is because the SEC makes companies like this, publicly traded companies on a stock exchange, they make them file and basically announce what they're going to do. Because I guarantee you, this company would love to sell, This company would love to sell these 60 million shares without sharing that with anybody. They would love to do this in the dark, and one day they just sold their shares and you would never know. But the SEC is there, they're doing their job, so I appreciate that. So they're going to be selling 60 million shares, as the article states. So you can actually go and you can see all the different filings that the company has ever filed, but I'm going to just show you the S3 form that they filed today. And I'll zoom in so you can actually see it. And like I said, you don't have to do all of this. I like getting into the weeds. I'm definitely a nerd. I love to understand what really happened, but definitely not necessary for trading. It's just me wanting to know more about what's going on. So As you can see, they filed Form S3. This is the company name, of course. Now, this is something, this is a aside, but the company is located in California, Beverly Hills. However, as you can see on the screen, I'll highlight it for you. They have registered the company in Nevada, most likely for tax purposes. That's a whole different business tax strategy that I don't have time to get into today, but like I said, very smart move, right? So Andy Howard, blah, 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 blah. So you can read it if you want. It's available because it is a publicly traded company. It's available for all to see. But long story short, that's all you have to know. They're going to be selling 60 million shares very, very soon. As soon as they can. All right, so let's go to the chart and see what happened today. So, as a matter of fact, I'll give you a quick recap of what we talked about yesterday. So, when I look at and I zoom out, let's say until May. I mean, I would say up until May, this stock was trading below $1. It didn't cross $1 until about the latter part of May. So only a few weeks ago. And then today, as you can see, it hit a high of 1173. So it was taking off at a crazy, crazy rate. And I know a lot of people made a lot of money off of this because, as you can tell, if you were to buy in at $1, $1.50, $2, whatever, and then now it goes up to $12, I mean, that is we just know that's a crazy increase. So, stock is going crazy. Now, you see this giant red candle? That is today. And I'll zoom in to what happened in today. But that's what happens when you announce you're going to shut. I can't even talk because it's just so crazy what this stock has been doing. That's what happens when you announce to the world you're going to sell 60 million shares of your stock. So price is going crazy, doing this thing. Let's zoom in. So around 10 o'clock, right? Someone knew, and I mean someone really knew, okay, they're about to sell a lot of shares. And so this is why I spoke earlier about it's key to follow the market. We talked about in a few videos ago that the market can be irrational, but it can be rational. But whichever way, whether it's irrational or rational, you have to follow it because the market is always right. So even though you may think, well, this company is going to be doing some great things in the future, I think the price should go up. If they're saying they're going to sell 60 million shares, I guarantee you the price is going to go down. And you can't stop that. And it is what it is. So 10 o'clock, somebody knew, hey, the stock is about to go down. They're about to sell all these shares. Let me get out. And let me also highlight, that's what happened in the stock market, right? So this year, COVID-19 caused a lot of investors, for whatever reason, and honestly, well, it's not for whatever reason. There's only two reasons why investors buy or sell. It's either for greed or for fear. So this pandemic hits and people are afraid, they start selling shares. The stock market goes down like crazy, right? Fear. So likewise, in this situation, if I tell you that they're going to be selling a lot of shares, then the opposite of the scarcity principle we discussed yesterday is that you have a surplus. You have a lot more shares available, which decreases the price of the stock. So, I mean, it's around 10 o'clock, stock price goes crazy, right? And as you saw, that time of that article was 10:38. But let me tell you something really quickly. All news outlets are not created equal. So this article was released at 10:38 a.m. today, right? If I find 10:38 on this chart, 10:38 is here, right? Right here. So this is almost near the bottom of the move, which means that somebody knew at 10 o'clock or 30 minutes prior what was going on. And this is why you got to find a nice, reliable news source, right? Market Watch is great, but this is why timing is so key. And I'll show you why. So I'm going to actually bring up the news portion of my broker, and I'll show you when this broker reported it. This broker reported it at 10:03:18. And I know you may not be able to see it because it's very, very small, but I'll try to highlight it here, right? So, matter of fact, maybe I can go to magnifier. All right, there we go. So, and I'll bring this over so you can see it. All right, there we go. So, 6/4/20 today at 10:03:18. I mean, they're thorough, right? So, says selling shareholders may offer 60.1 million shares of common stock, right? So that happened 30 minutes before the other outlet reported it, right? So takeaway here is you got to have a good broker or a good news outlet that's going to give you the information as soon as possible, because if you were relying on that other news outlet, you would have lost a crazy amount of money. But anyway, so stock decreases, goes crazy. You may be wondering, okay, stock goes down, that makes sense, but why is there a gap here? These are called volatility halts. So what happens is if a stock moves too quickly up or down, the stock market will actually pause trading for that stock. Sometimes it's for 5 minutes, sometimes for 10 minutes, sometimes it's for months. And so the reason they do that is to allow people to, number one, take in the news. Number two, is basically to stop this crazy crash, right? As you can tell, there's a run on the stock. Everybody is taking their shares, they're selling them, all right? So the same way that you have a run on a bank, everyone goes and withdraws their money from the bank, and then if everyone takes their money out of the bank will fail. If everyone sells their shares of stock in this company, the company will go back to being worthless. So they do that to protect the company. They do that to protect investors, because some investors may have received the news late and then they don't have time to react. So they give people an opportunity to take in the news, digest it, and make a decision. So the last candle here was at 10:25, and then the next one was at 10:45. So this was a 10-minute halt. Now, as you can see, it halted going back up, right? There's a gap right here. So it was halted at 11:03 and then resumed trading at 11:18. So that was a 15-minute halt. So yeah, just very interesting stuff. I find that stuff interesting. I definitely would be remiss if I didn't share that with you. Some people don't know that, stocks can be held, right? And if you're in this stock and the stock market pauses trading for that stock, there is nothing you can do. There is nothing you can do. There's no email you can send. There's no person you can call. If you're holding shares of that stock and they pause trading, you have to just wait it out. Now, you can Google and figure out, what causes the stock halt. Like there's an actual formula, right? So if it moves up X percent in this certain time period, it will halt, and you can research that and figure it out. So you actually can know beforehand if a stock is going to halt going up or going down. So stocks that halt going down, I mean, of course, that's really bad, right? If you're going long, that is really bad because your stock price is going to decrease. So as you can see, let me show you really quickly. I know I'm kind of getting into details, but I like details. So the stock was halted at around $7. When the stock reopened 5 minutes later, you see it dropped from $7 down to basically $5. So stocks that are halted going down usually open lower, and stocks that are halted going up usually open higher. So that means that if you're holding this stock at 1025, you could not sell your position to get out of it until, that was actually at 1025. It reopened at 1045. So a 20-minute delay there. So you had to just hold it for 20 minutes. And this is the maddening part. You can see where the stock is going to end up, but you can't do anything about it because it's halted. So someone had to sit for 20 minutes and watch them lose $2 a share for 20 minutes. But on the upside, the stock did rebound, it hit a bottom, came back up, and it was paused or halted going up. As a matter of fact, it looks like it was halted twice. So you have a 15-minute halt here and then a 5-minute halt here. So, but anyway, so that's GNUS today. I mean, a very interesting scenario. So, long story short, news is very important. Stocks can get halted up and down. I mean, yeah, just all kinds of good stuff in that. All right, so I'm going to take you to my trade today. Finally, AMD. Okay. So, my trade was actually very simple. Something that we trade a lot, AMD. And long story short, it was a smooth selling from, let's say, 9:30 to about 10 o'clock, right? I mean, we do have a small pullback here, but after that, I mean, for the majority, smooth sailing. So stock opens up. I'm like, okay, let's get in, right? And I'm just riding it up, right? So it doesn't, for me, it's not going to throw me out of the stock unless I get like a significant decrease down, but that didn't happen. We have a slight pullback here, but you actually can re-add to your position at the VWAP, which is this purple line here. And I mean, you follow it up, you get this crazy, zoomed in too much. You get this crazy negative bar here, or red bar, bearish bar, whatever you want to call it. And that's a good sign. Okay, you know what? Let's get out. But also, too, let me show you one other indicator that will help you know when to get out. Whenever you have a strong surge of volume, that's also an indicator to, you know what? The move is over. There's a shift happening. So this giant green volume bar here, as you can see, there was great volume at the beginning, tapers off, It's kind of consistent, but it has highs and lows. And then this giant bar comes out of nowhere. What that means is there are people getting out of the position, right? And that's honestly, I was probably in that too. So you get your nice increase. I mean, you're just kind of riding, and then you see, a significant increase in volume. You're like, all right, people are probably getting out. You know, you're hitting that first 30-minute marker in the market at 10 o'clock. Maybe I should probably get out too. And look what happens, right? We have a decrease, bounces again, double bottom here, but it doesn't continue that path that it was on. So, and this has probably been a longer video, but the stuff on GNUS to me is very interesting, and I thought I would share. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate it. Like, I really do appreciate everyone watching. If you like this and found it valuable, please share it with your friends. Please share it with your family. And just come back next time, and we can start do this all over again. So, talk to you soon.